A record-breaking nor'easter moving from Florida to Georgia to the Carolinas and up through New England this weekend. From severe weather to a lot of rain to strong winds, this thing's got it all, including snow on the backside. Hi, everybody. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Justus, always giving you early warnings of severe weather, a reliable forecast you can count on, and a direct approach you won't find anywhere else. So if you don't subscribe already, please consider doing that right now. Let's get right to the model here. This is a potent low-pressure system, folks. It's going to start to bring rain to Florida as we go into Saturday. By Saturday night into Sunday, the risk for severe weather begins to grow, and this is something we'll have to keep an eye on here because as this deep low pressure begins to move toward the north, it's going to pack some energy with it. This is a 998 low. That's close to a tropical storm in low pressure. And honestly, with wind, it's just not. At this time of the year, it's a cold core low, so it's what makes up the core of the system is just not the same. So it has different characteristics. It's being fed by the warm ocean temperature, which even though it's cold to us, it's warm enough that it can feed systems. So here we are going into Sunday. Rain starting to move into the upstate of South Carolina, Charlotte, Atlanta. But notice the heavier downpours are from I-77 down here toward Columbia into Myrtle Beach down to Charleston. As we move forward into Sunday, notice there's a really tight gradient here. Heavy rain up to the I-26, I-85 corridor. So between Greenville and Spartanburg, it's just pouring. But the farther west you go toward Clemson or Seneca into northeast Georgia or extreme western North Carolina, not only will you not see as much rain, but you may be dry for some of Sunday, okay? So there's some hope if you have outdoor activities that it won't be as wet. Here we are midday Sunday. This is starting to pull to the east. So the heavier rain's beginning to push toward, basically Spartanburg, Gaffney east into Charlotte. So if you're going to the Panthers game, ouch. I mean, just ouch. It's just going to be nasty there as the Falcons come to town. This is pulling up toward the northeast, and look at this low. This is a 984 low, folks. I've seen some stats here that show this could be one of the top low pressures we've ever had in the Carolinas. Gets close to the blizzard of 93, the superstorm there. So, one of those situations where we got to watch it closely. Thankfully, the more volatile, severe aspect to be out here to see. But rain beginning to end as we go into Sunday night, Monday. But we're not done yet, folks. Snow begins to crank out on the backside as it moves up toward New England. Some rain for most along the I-95 corridor, but snow along the spine of the Appalachians. More on that in just a moment. Let's take a look at the severe aspect of it. Today, we've got severe risk back toward Texas, more just a storm or two. Tomorrow, this will be Saturday, especially Saturday evening, there is a medium risk for severe weather toward central Florida. This will include Orlando. So if your travels take you down that way, including tornadoes, isolated tornadoes and strong winds will be a threat there. And then as we go into Sunday, we've got a low-end risk for severe weather, including a brief isolated tornado from Savannah to Hilton Head to Charleston up through Myrtle Beach and Wilmington. All right. As far as rainfall totals are concerned, this thing is a monster. It's bringing in a ton of rain. Let me back it down here to Florida. Check this out. 3 to 4 inches of rain there. Generally 1 to 2 from the Carolinas. 4 the closer you get to the I-95 corridor, and that spreads up the entire East Coast for a weekend soaking. As far as totals closer to home in the Carolinas, it's a tight gradient. Now keep that in mind. You got 4 inches along the I-95 corridor. 1 to 2 inches along the I-77 corridor, and then a half an inch to an inch back through the western Carolinas and the upstate. Greenville about an inch, Spartanburg an inch and a half. But you get in here closer to the upstate, it's one of those situations like a snow, except for the opposite, right? The farther northwest you go, the less rain you're going to get, as little as a half an inch or a quarter of an inch in the extreme western parts of North Carolina. And then, get toward Clemson about a half an inch or so, but you go to Greenville about an inch. So it's going to be a sharp cutoff in some locations. Not only that, it's going to be windy. Check this out. So throughout Saturday, these would be the peak wind gusts through Saturday, 20 miles per hour. It's going to be gusty, and there will, not much rain yet. It'll be cloudy and windy and quite chilly. But as we go into Sunday, check this out. Look at these gusts. Those greens are 40 or plus. And then you get into some of these yellows and oranges. That's 50 to 60 miles per hour. So along the immediate coastline from Garden City to Myrtle Beach to North Myrtle to Charleston, Georgetown, down here toward Hilton Head and Savannah, we're talking 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts. Not only that, but in the mountains, look at this. You've got wind gusts get up to 64 miles per hour in Boone. You got up here towards Caesar's Head, 50 plus. I mean, it's going to be really, really windy going into Sunday night, Monday night. And on top of that, you got a little bit of snow to deal with. I don't think it'll amount to much in Asheville or Hendersonville, but you go just north of Asheville, 2,500 feet to 3,000 feet, you get an inch or so. And this could cause some slick spots in the roads Tuesday morning to where you could have some delays for school Tuesday morning in some locations. So where do we go from here? Well, I always like to give you or leave you with kind of an outlook looking ahead, because I can do it, but you have to dissect it. You have to take it responsibly, right? Don't take me to the bank with this, all right? I mean, it's not written in stone. But I can give you an idea of the way the pattern's shaping up. And one of the ways I do that, or the clues, is through my NAO, North Atlantic Oscillation. This is one of the more recent models. In fact, I'm just going to refresh it and see if the new one came out. I believe this is the most fresh one. But, yep, here it is. So we're positive, and generally a positive means you're either going to be near normal for temperatures or just above normal. It dips down to near zero, which is kind of neutral. No clear teleconnections either way. It's not going to give you a big hint of really cold or really hot weather, but could indicate that it's at least trying to level out temperature-wise. And this would be the 24th, 25th. So what I tell folks in this is I look for big swings, and I just kind of see a little bit here and there, which means we're going to be near normal with a cold day here or there. I've seen these type situations where a cold day here or there can give you a really quick snow that's on the ground for 24 hours and then gone. I can't rule that out through the end of the month, but I just don't see any clear signs of significant cold air coming in. You would need to see this thing turn really negative for me to see that. And toward the end of the month, some of the models here are starting to hint at that. There's a big spread the further out you get, which is normal. So it's possible some of the models here could be as low as -1 or -2. If that were to be the case, we may have a piece of the polar vortex kind of break off and dip into the United States, which would indicate, could have some colder weather. Let me map out the next few weeks. This would be the newly issued temperature outlook for the next 6 days, 6 through 10. This would be the 20th through the 24th. It's changed a little bit for the Southeast. It's either near normal or a little bit below normal. So, we're going to be 50 or so most afternoons. Can't rule out it being a little bit colder than that in some cases. How about days 8 through 14? This would be the 22nd through the 28th. We'd be near normal to slightly above normal. And it's relative this time of the year. You're seeing these reds. It's like, it's going to be really warm. Well, not necessarily. This could mean it's 60, 65. So yes, mild. But what concerns me with this is when you're significantly above normal in the wintertime, that's got to correct itself and get back to cold, especially in areas like Minnesota, Michigan here, where it's significantly above normal. That would be 60 degrees, which you're used to being locked into a frozen tundra at that point. What concerns me with that is severe weather, because the pattern's going to correct itself. So I do expect severe weather at some point that last week of December into January, because the pattern does look to correct itself and at least get a little bit cooler going into the first week of January. And when it gets cooler, there's a transition that has to happen there with a cold front coming through that could mean business and be a dangerous thing. So, just giving you what my thoughts are as of now. As far as precipitation, that first week of January, above normal precipitation in Florida and near normal across the Carolinas. So that's the way things are shaping up right now, folks. I do appreciate you. And if you appreciate my early look at severe weather, reliable forecast you can count on, and a direct approach you really can't find anywhere else, please consider subscribing to my channel. I would really, really appreciate it. I'm going to keep you posted on this really potent nor'easter coming our way this weekend around the clock as we get closer to it. Let me know in the comments section what you and your family have planned. And hey, if you can, do me a big favor. Let me know where you're watching from right now. Tell me your city and state. I'd love to kind of see where my people are watching from. This is a passion of mine, and this is a fantastic time of year, but it's also a busy time of year. You have a lot going on. You have a lot of gatherings to do, maybe some travel that you're about to do. My goal is to help you prepare for that, folks. Stay tuned and stay safe.